Right, what's up guys? We're back doing knife reviews. We love knife reviews. Today we're gonna do a Mora comparison, more or less. We're gonna go over, there's so many different models, which one's the best, which one can, get for cheap, which one's right for what you're gonna be doing, all, the whole shebang. And yeah, I got a few here. I don't have a lot, but I have the basic setup here. And this one actually isn't even a Mora. This one is the Wahoo Killer by BudK, which in one of my first few videos you've probably seen me talk about. I love this knife. This is a cheap off-brand of Mora in a nutshell. They basically have the exact same design. And I like this textured, grip a little bit better just because you can see it's got like rubber. It feels really, really good in hand. I really like it. I use this one all the time. This is in my bushcraft bag. I take it out with me every week. These two actually. I take them out every week, me and my buddy, and we use them for everything. Bushcraft, camp chores, blah, 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 blah. This one, let's just see here. This one, blade length here. Almost 4 inches of actual blade length, which is solid. It's solid for what it is. And if you saw my video on the K-bar, this is kind of what I'm talking about. That has like a 4.5, almost 5-inch blade. I would prefer a skinnier one like this if I was going to be, bushcrafting or something along those lines. That's why I like it. All right. This one, I forget the name of this one. It isn't the outdoors one. It's just like their basic model. And all of these Moras, they come with just, whatever sheaths. They're just plastic. They're nothing fancy, just cheap plastic, but they work. They do what they're supposed to do, and I have no complaints with that. This one has just like the regular rubber grips. Not as nice as the Wahoo Killer, but it still works pretty well. And it has a really long blade. And they're all these blades are carbon steel. I have not tested this theory, but theoretically, taking these out in the woods, you should be able to get sparks off the back of these with a piece of flint or quartz. So if you were to find some, you could smack it against the back of the blade, and tentatively you'd be able to get sparks to start a fire. Let's see how long we got on this one. This one is, look at that, it's about the same. See what I mean? This one is, I think I paid $13 for this one, and this one was $2.50. And you can find them even cheaper if you're at a gun show or you buy them used. So yeah, if you want to pay 5 times the price, not that it's that much more expensive, you could get a Mora, which is probably the way to go if you're just gonna buy your first bushcrafting knife or something like that. But if you want to take out and have multiple knives to beat up, you could go buy 5 of these and you not worry about breaking them. Just hard use and abusing the knives. Now this one is kind of, I really like this one. I went to a bushcraft, not convention, but it was kind of an event. It was out in West Virginia, and one of the guys leading it, his name was Umbra. He carried one of the Moras. It was the wood handle one. It had a red wood handle. I forget what it was called. I do not like that one. I was gonna buy it. I looked at it. It's very cheap feeling. The wood, it had like this little washer right here, and it felt like it was gonna fall off. It felt like it was gonna break into, and I didn't like it, so I decided not to get it. I decided to go with this one. This is the Craftline Q Mora. It's really, really lightweight, and I like this finger guard. Like on some of my other knives, they had finger guards like this that I ultimately ended up grinding off. But this one feels good. I like it. It feels like a little whittling knife. But I take this one out. You can see it's got dirt and grime on it still. I tried to clean it up. But I take this one out with me as a neck knife. So whenever I go, carry knives in tandem, which is almost all the time, I carry this one. You can see the lanyard. I carry that around my neck. And that's just like my rope cutting knife or my skinning knife or whatever. If I'm not using it for hard use, even though you could, this feels good in hand. You can see it has extra length on it. It's not small. The blade itself, let's see here, is a little bit smaller than the others. Oh, maybe it's not. It looks small. It's a little bit smaller. We're gonna say 3 3/4 around there. It's a little bit smaller, but this, you could get a lot done with just this. Or if you're a minimalist and you want to go out in the woods with almost nothing on you and try to, play around, this might be the knife for you because it's lighter than these other two, and it still has almost the same length of blade. and it feels really good in hand. And this is also high carbon, so I mean, you can take that out and tentatively, like I said, drive sparks off the back of it. But it feels really good in hand. This one was like $7. So yeah, it's kind of in between both of these, but I really like this one a lot. I carry this every single time I go out in the woods. This is my neck knife. If I'm not carrying my Condor mini bush lore, I'm carrying this thing. And this one, this is the Mora Bushcraft Black, also carbon steel. Same kind of plastic sheath. This one comes with some clips that rotate, and it has another one that doesn't open like this. It's just one solid piece that you can feed your belt through. But yeah, it's just the same kind of design. They make Kydex sheaths if you want one. Now you can find them everywhere. But yeah, this one gets a lot of use. I take this one out also. I just cleaned it up with some Goo Gone to try to get that, you know, edge back to normal. They take a edge awesome. I love them. They're fantastic. This has a sharp 90-degree spine, and what that means is that it's flat completely across. You see how it looks almost squared right there? This could almost cut you. That's how sharp it is. This right here could almost cut you, the back end of the knife. That's for when you're striking sparks off a ferro rod. But this one feels amazing in hand. I love it. Like it has, you know, perfect design ergonomics for a long-term use blade, and it feels much different in hand than this Mora or this Mora, and it feels a little bit better than this one. So yeah, I mean, I really like that. It looks cool. It's neat. It's extremely sharp out of the box. I mean, I used this one and I just touched it up, but out of the box, this thing was the sharpest knife I had out of all of my knives. It's very, very sharp, and I mean, you can beat on it. Let's see here. How are we looking on blades? Got about 4.5 inches of blade length. So yeah, and this one's a lot thicker if you want to compare. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on the camera. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell. See the difference? So much thicker. So yeah, this one feels great. I've beat it up. I've batoned with it. You can do that. It's fine. It's not going to hurt the knife. If you're worried about the thickness scale though, this thing is obviously much thicker, and you're not going to break it. I mean, it's a heavy-duty, heavy-use knife, and it feels awesome. It has a rat tail tang though, like all the Mora knives. It doesn't come all the way through. That's just plastic piece right there. But it stops somewhere around in here. But I've never heard of anyone breaking it unless they did it intentionally, unless they skinned it off to see what it looked like on the inside. I've never heard of anyone breaking one. So, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sure it happens, but I just never have ever heard any complaints about it. This knife is a little bit more expensive. This one's like $50, $40 or $50. Totally worth it though. Totally worth it. I would definitely recommend you go out and buy one of these. You can get them on Amazon. You might even be able to get it on Walmart.com. I would say probably, but I think Amazon's probably where you should go. It's probably a safe bet. But like I said, these knives are all solid. You're not going to go wrong with any of them. This one's more heavy use bushcraft / survival knife. This one's more of like a minimalist type roll. Like if you were to go out in the woods and you just wanted to have one knife on you and mess around. If you were one of those guys that didn't wear shoes in the woods or something like that, this is a great little knife. This one's kind of a all-around, you know, general purpose knife. You could use this for camp chores or bushcraft or, you know, whatever you might need it for. If you needed to skin and you're a hunter, great knife. And this one is just a beater knife. This is if you want to go out and practice and you have one of these but you don't want to beat it up because you spent $40 on it. This one you could just go out and demolish. And one of my favorite parts about these knives, just to give you an example, this thing is dull right now. See, it doesn't want to cut, it just tears. It's so freaking dull. Like, I don't know, but this is what I love about them. This is my DMT diamond sharpening card. What is it? 25. Oh, okay, it's 600. Okay. These things, they sharpen like a dream. And it doesn't take that much effort. This Mora gets pretty sharp. I mean, the Wahoo Killer, excuse me. But the Mora, they also get really, really sharp. And like I said in other videos, I am not a sharpening expert. I actually really suck at it. I'm still practicing, trying to get better. But if you know, with these sharpening cards and with these Moras, it's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy. I've gotten pretty proficient at it at this point. So let's see, that was like, what, 10 strokes on each side? And it's back into, you know, slicing performance. This thing's ready to go now. I mean, it could definitely use some more work, but let's see here. See, it's not It's not paper slicing sharp to the point where you can just cut the edge right off, but yeah, maybe it is. But either way, that's all it takes. It took me what, 10 strokes on each side to get it back to working, working level. It's fantastic knives. I really can't complain about them. Look at picking them up. BudK.com, and I'd say Amazon for the rest of them. Alright guys, like, subscribe, comment.